Started to hear from people how impactful it was and how it was a new train of thought. Many mostly were coming to me and saying, when did I find the time to write a book in between all this stuff of running a business and being such a hands-on dad? And it's now starting to happen more often than not. So what happens now is vendors, when we send out new quotes or make new contact, that's where it's really starting to make contact now. It took a little while then, but I did hear people would read it and say back things to me, how it's been helpful and impactful. But it's starting even more so now to have its traction. And I understood that writing it, even if it never did. And towards the end of it, I say, if this book helped one person, then it would have been worth everything that was done, because it was primarily left for our son. But now I'm starting to hear a lot more on how they've read it and gave a new thought to it.
It's your book is so. I was just telling you previously about how smooth it is, and if you're sitting, and I'm more of a morning person, and I was up around 2 a.m. reading your book, and I mean, it just captured my attention. And I was starting to relate. See, the book is relatable. Great authors, in my opinion, they relate to you. Their experiences relate to yours. And listening to you just really connected us today. And I said, wow, I'm looking forward. It made me more and more really looking forward to speaking with you after sitting there reading your book at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not a 2 o'clock in the morning person, but there I was, Paul, because see, that says a lot about you as an author. That says a lot about you as a person, about the empathy, because you talk a lot about empathy and compassion. And you said the right way, succeed the right way. And I said, wow. And I agree with what you said in your book. You said that, because I've been told this, empathy, compassionate, and when you're humble, people think that's weakness.
Yeah.
And the stronger people, Paul, would you not agree? The strong individuals are the ones who can stand right there in the midst of adversity and not fuss and argue and just get all crazy with it, but who can stand there calmly and just let things pass on over and say, now it's time to move forward. What do you think on that?
I agree. And like when the pandemic first came out, I got the book Extreme Ownership. I know it was out before then. I read that book in one sitting. And what struck me, because I wanted to say, well, let me look in the mind of Navy SEALs, how they're trained, how they're taught. I mean, other people may have a different opinion, but that book left a mark on me, because I've always felt that it's the quiet, strong strength that you show empathy and compassion. So when I into it and reading how these expert trained, and many people would say there's nothing soft about a Navy SEAL, how when they went into the different businesses and were having the communication, they were, the advantage I saw, they were showing empathy and compassion. They were looking to hear, well, what's going on with the boss, which I usually count that as ego driven. What's going on with the boss that they won't hear the team? Let us find out from the team what's going on. And the whole encapsulation of everything they were doing, I said, this is a quiet strength that they're showing. And that left an impact. I said, I took from that book further that empathy and compassion matters, because it's the strength to tell people difficult things in a compassionate way. And they were able to turn organizations around by having direct, kind conversations. Now, yes, they have another side to them, but that book left a significant mark on me to say, here, you can live this way and make impact. And it further cemented all my experiences of ever running into people that showed a kind, compassionate way, were strong ones. And most people can relate, if you've had a grandmother or kind of the mom that was in the house, she talked calm, but she didn't kind of play around. So hey, you didn't have to worry when she said it, or your parents said it in a calm way. You knew what kind of time it was.
Oh, that's so true. I was sitting here listening to you, thinking back on my grandmother. And you know what? And Paul, she was a huge woman too. And she's the one. The reason I'm in business today, because she had a cleaners. And she taught us when I was in elementary school. So I know what you mean. I mean, there was never one of those days where she would say, okay, I feel bad today, so let's just close down the shop and let's just go home. She never thought it was time to stop, Paul. She always said, look, whatever you're feeling, she said, you'll get past it. Just stay focused and keep moving. But like I said, I loved how you emphasized on empathy, and was saying, in the book that it's empowering.
Yeah.
It's empowering when you can stay calm when everybody else is emotional. You can stay calm. Those are powerful people. Those are the alphas, because they know when to move forward in situations instead of getting all caught up in the moment. And that's what I got from reading. When I was reading your book, that's what you were saying to me.
Well, that means a lot.